Hello.
Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh. So, there are liberties being taken, like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
It's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean? How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
Thanks, boy.
Hey, Italian. I'll talk to you later.
Let's get to the scene,
All right.
My undercarriage is sweating.
Yo, what up? Hey, Matt.
All right, welcome into another edition of the Third and Manageable Podcast. I am your host, Matt Diegert, and as always, to my right or left, or however you want to look at it, I have Student Body right. Definitely want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. We are live again from the Ringside Lounge here down at Iliad Apollo's. They are our biggest sponsor, 3785 South Park Avenue, Blaisdell, New York, 14219. Definitely want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and let's get it started.
Let's get it kicking, bro.
Let's get it going.
How you feel, man?
I mean, little disappointed from last week from the Rams. That was a game I had as a win, and they ended up losing.
Sure.
But you know, as far as things go, I mean, the Bills are still 10-3,
Control of their own
10-3.
damn destiny.
Kind of. Greg Thompson and I went through it a little bit on Twitter.
Shout out, Greg.
If the Bills, I'll pull that up a little bit later as we go through this. The nice thing, the nice thing is we're not talking about playoff scenarios is how to get in the playoffs. We're talking about how to keep the second seed or get to the one seed, which is awesome. So, with that being said, what do we got going on tonight?
We got to thank some sponsors. We got to pay some bills. Once again, we would like to thank Iliad Apollo's. We're here. Good crowd as always. The holiday cheer is cheering right now. 3785 South Park Avenue. In addition to that, we have Fubo TV. If you're watching games this season, you're trying to get away from your aunts, your uncles, your own mom and dad. Everybody needs a little reprieve. Go on Fubo TV.
They got the largest. They're the largest sports streaming network out there.
Sure are. So we got Fubo TV. We got Sons of Erie for all your art and apparel needs. In terms of if you're looking for holiday gifts, we're running a promo, 20% off using code DO. Shoot us a little note if you're a listener of the Third Manageable Podcast or any podcast on the Do Champions Media Network. We'll hook you up with some stickers and a little other to ride. Matt, who else we got?
We got beauty pools, kayak pools. We got Hamburg Brewing. We just brought on the construction company.
John Palmer Construction. Yeah. He's here tonight. You might hear from that. As well as Altered Grounds and Mackenzie Tree Farm.
We always make the joke about the tree farm, but seriously, it's Christmas time. Go out and get yourself a tree, get a real tree. I understand the whole allergy thing, but there's nothing better than a real tree.
No, go back to that allergies.
Yeah, I mean, some people have allergies to the pine. I mean, I'm not talking riding the pine. I'm not talking riding the pine.
But some people, a couple shows gonna be riding the pine this week. Anyway, but thank you for tuning in to the Third Manageable Podcast. Next week, make sure you turn in to right here. We're gonna have Super Agent Matt Gloss. He'll come on, a good friend of mine, friend of the program. He'll come out. He'll talk, because we are entering contract season. Some of those draft picks who weren't first rounders, they don't have that 5th year extension. They're going to be looking to tie some stuff up. Some of these GMs are making their list. They're checking it twice, and they're going to find out who's extended or not going to be so nice. So anyway, Matt, I thought in addition to our segments,
first and foremost, you just killed my phone. But first and foremost, the food and drinks down here at Elliot Apollo's definitely come down, stop down. I got one right now. BV Manhattan. R.I.P. to my grandmother. We do it every year. Definitely shout out to her. Nobody better than my grandmother. I mean,
except my dead dad.
Yeah, him too. Happy birthday to him last Friday, right?
Last Friday, yep.
Yeah, and
almost 1 year gone. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
And I know there's some listeners that it never gets easier. It's just we always thought it was actually a funny story. Can I tell you a funny story, Matt? So I tweeted on his birthday last Friday. It was do you want to get your phone? Yeah, I tweeted. You can still hear me. I tweeted on his birthday last Friday. It was kind of funny. Just a picture of us at the Houston game. And I wrote because I lived in New York City for a while. I lived in London for a little bit and all that other stuff. So I have friends who live other bit. They're not familiar with the phrase "one before I die." So Matt, when I posted a picture of my father and I wrote "one before I die" on it, and people thought that was it got flagged for like self-harm.
Really?
Yeah, not really, but like I got a lot of check-ins like, "Yo, dog, you okay?"
I mean, how do you not understand that?
Well,
that phrase as a Bills fan, like I get it. Like if you're a Dolphins fan or a Jets fan or whatever. Like you guys have all had one. We haven't. So we'd like to see one before we die. And
yeah. Hey, Angela. Say hi.
Just saying hi.
You want to come over?
All right.
Yeah.
And let's start talking about the.
No. Before, let's set the mood here.
Yeah.
I pounced the segment on you really quick. I think, hang on. This is what I wanted. Not that. I wanted this. But I think you got a joke for me, and I got a joke for you. What's that?
I don't have any jokes.
I have a joke.
I know you got jokes, but I have no jokes.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl use the bathroom?
I don't know why.
Because the P's silent.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's one of them dad jokes that you kind of go through. So.
I have one more joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Ryan Day and the Ohio State football team.
Yeah, I mean that one's a little tough. I mean, good friend of the show, Doug Worthington. I mean, I talked to him on Thanksgiving, and when we.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry.
When we played the Turkey Bowl for Elliot Apollo's, and he said that they were ready, and they ended up losing 13-10, and unfortunately, I mean, they threw two interceptions on the goal line in the third and fourth quarter, and missed a field goal. And
did you see that legislation that like the one guy wants to do?
Which one?
That's cool. What did I just do?
That.
Let's just do that for a second. Did you see that legislation that one guy wanted to enact or whatever?
Which one?
It was the legislation was basically. There we go. The legislation basically was that it is going to be a felony to basically plant a flag basically at the center of the Ohio State in the horseshoe.
Yeah,
that seems like a little weird.
I mean, it doesn't be, but I mean, did you see? Like, I know that's 2 weeks ago now, but did you see like all the fights? They had to be, it had to be broken up by the police officers. Yeah,
I hear you. I'm just gonna bounce out right here. That's it. I gotta reset my internet. You just want to take it away? Just tell them the segments we got going on right now. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna go through here. We're gonna recap the Rams game a little bit. I know we did that on post game, but we're gonna touch on that a little bit. We're gonna go through, segment. We had a couple of new segments that we got. Here's why you suck. That's basically talking about what we did wrong or what we talked about that we thought was going to happen and didn't happen. Off the Rack is basically our new segment for equipment and things like that. Subcontracting, we'll get to that as well. Bars, no bars. That's a quote from. What are you doing here? You're literally killing me here. What is going on?
Can I switch it back and forth? Oh, there we go.
No, you're killing me here, dude. You're not allowed to touch anything anymore. So,
how are we doing? There's a wide. Oh, we're good here. I can mix and match. That actually works better.
all right, you go ahead. You go ahead.
So anyways, thanks for sticking with us right now. What do I gotta click here? Oh, we're on no one to blame. That's why.
Yes, I know. There we go. Jesus.
Brady. Middle. I got it.
All right.
So anyway, Maddie.
Yeah.
Here's why
Here's why I
you suck.
Okay, go ahead.
We didn't take into account that we've put 10 games on tape, Matt. Putting 10 games on tape, and you didn't spend enough time talking about that running back room. You thought when I went up there, you had general concerns, but you thought our D-line would take care of it. Our D-line categorically did not take care of it, Matt.
That's one of the things that I was worried about with Kyron Williams is him running all over the Bills defense. But it didn't end up being Kyron Williams that did anything. It was Cooper Kupp and mainly Puka Nacua. It was Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
I mean, and Matthew Stafford, we saw it last night. They had one first down in the first quarter last night. It's almost like that
It's almost like we both suck.
It's almost like that these teams are only, they're playing, they're giving the best bits to the Bills. Truly.
Best bits. I think here's why you suck. You're using my phrases. Best bits. So, Maddie, tell me why I suck, and I'm pretty sure it's because I downgraded Cooper Kupp's performance. Go ahead. Why do I suck, Maddie?
You didn't think that there was going to be anything. You basically said that, Matthew Stafford needed to beat us,
and he did.
And he did.
But I said it in a condescending way. I'm going to help you. I said it in a condescending way, like, Matthew Stafford's going to beat us. Like, I didn't think like he had the wherewithal to do it. He clearly did, didn't he?
Yeah, some of those pinpoint throws that he had. I think there was four. The one on the sideline to Puka Nacua, the one on the third down. I think it was 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8, something like that, where they
was it third and manageable?
It was 3rd and manageable. But no, where Puka Nacua was able to climb the ladder, go get it. And Matthew Stafford did a great job of putting the ball only where his receivers can get it. And that's truly the main thing that, we always talk about. And it is, as far as Josh Allen, he did the same thing. Josh Allen was 3-3, 3 passing, 3 rushing. First quarterback ever to do it in the regular season.
You can't ask more than what he did. How's that feel?
Josh Allen's Superman at this point this year, and if he doesn't win the MVP, if he goes out and wins this week, and we'll get to the Lions game here in a minute, but if he goes out and beats the Lions this week I don't want to say by himself, but if he has a performance like he did last week against the Rams, and he does that against the Lions this week, I think that he kind of solidifies the
MVP race.
The MVP. I don't think there's anything that Saquon Barkley or anybody else can do to touch him at this point. If he beats
who's your top
the Lions.
3? Who's your top 3 for that MVP race? Because we are voting on the Heisman tomorrow.
For the top 3, we said it before. I personally have Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, and Jared Goff. And 2 of these guys are in the game this weekend.
Damn, it is fucking loud in here, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
So here's why you suck, and that is brought to you by Sons of Erie. Sons of Erie definitely does not suck, and if your walls do suck, give them a shot. Put a little artwork, spice up your life, and give a gift of a loved one, that Buffalo Rabbit fandom that always thinks we are in it, Maddie. You have some Sons of Erie actually in your house, don't you?
I do, yes. I do, and I love... I have the... which one is it?
Is it The Godfather?
It's the Godfather one, yes. My wife actually bought that for me last year during Christmas, or as one of my Christmas presents, and that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite paintings. I know that I'm trying to get the artist to do one that
The
you know
artist.
collab with us. I
You'll
didn't
see
want
him
to. I
next
didn't want to
week.
say his name until
Yeah,
he
you can.
comes on the
You
show,
can. You
and
can.
you know, screw it. I didn't want to. You know, Nick and I are trying to work together. I'm trying to get him to do one that I will personally buy. You know, you know, it's a Ghostbusters collab. I'm not gonna lie. You know, but I think that's gonna be a good one if we ever get that one to get out.
What are you going to be doing, actually, real quick? What are you going to be doing for the game on Sunday? That's a 425. Are you still?
It is a 425 game again.
It did not get flexed. Are we the undesirables, or why didn't it get flexed? You know.
So it's another one of those where it was CBS kind of. I think they vetoed it because like they did that with the Chiefs game. I think the Chiefs, the Bills Chiefs, that should have been in primetime. But again, it's a 425 game. It's an AFC game. It's something where that they have the right of first refusal as far as that goes. So with that being said, I think this one should have been flexed. I think this one is a better game than you know, the one a couple weeks ago against the 49ers. I think this is definitely one that should have been in that either Sunday night game or Monday night game.
Well, I guess we're going to get into it, man. Do you want to give us the peek of the pit, or we already did that in the post-game show for the game thing? There we go. Why is that happening to me, you think?
What is going on here? There we go. All right, I got it. All right, so we're the peak in the pit. So as far as the Rams game, the pit was the defense, like just in general. I know we put out the poll to say who is our defensive MVP. We did that just as I don't want to say a work, but it kind of was, and I literally put out Mr. Hanky from South Park, the Christmas poo, because it was nothing but poo. It really was, and I hate saying that about the defense because they do usually an amazing job, but I do think it comes down to, I think it was Matthew Stafford who took advantage of a lot of things. He was able to put the ball in good spots. Last night it was very rainy, and he was at home last week.
So rainy that some people don't want to finish the game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second as well.
Yeah, that was.
Nino,
can I do one more as well? So, anyway, as we enter this and to transition a little bit, the Detroit Lions enter this game on a 10-game winning streak, Maddie. They have a 10-game winning streak as we face them. The last time they lost is September, second game of the season. That's one of the longest, win streaks we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, super potent offense.
They didn't lose since the Houston game.
Yeah, absolutely. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, named David Montgomery. Isn't he a Wisconsin guy?
Their running back room scares me a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, we're not going to sit here and lie. They scare me a lot.
Yeah,
they scare me a lot for this week.
Yeah, it's almost like their two-headed monster trumps our three-headed monster. You did not see an active running back room last week for the Bills. That was a little concerning to me, Matt. About you? Do you think our running back room matches up exactly like their running back room?
I think theirs is definitely a little bit better. I mean, but at the same time, I do think, again, wins are not a quarterback stat, right?
Correct.
So they're not playing against each other. Offenses are not playing offenses. So I think that we're in a spot where they have Aiden Hutchinson out, they have Anzalone out, they just lost another couple of guys there on their defensive side. I think there's things that they could take advantage of, whether it's within the screen game, whether it's within the running back room. I mean, we saw look at what Chicago did to them. They almost came back and won with
almost
Caleb Williams.
No one to blame. Do you see this as see this as being an offensive shootout, Matt?
I do, to a point. I don't think it's going to be. I think Bobby Babich is going to come out, and I really think that he is going to feel like he's got something to prove this week because their defense just let up 44 fucking points.
Uncharacteristic as hell.
Uncharacteristic of that team. I mean, I do see a little bit of it being on, as much as everybody's saying, DeMar Hamlin's getting better and better and better each and every week, he got torched a few times too himself. And luckily, it was called for, offensive pass interference and defensive pass interference on the same play.
Yeah.
And fortunately
Offsetting
for
fouls.
that,
Sure.
offsetting fouls, and it comes down to it. That in itself was brought it back, but they still scored on that drive.
I do think it's going to be an offensive shootout, though. The Bills, they boast a top-ranked offensive EPA. The over/under right now is set. Yo, Matt, season high points, 54.5. The over/under is set at right now, with the Lions 2.5-point favorites. When you hear those numbers,
I would take this up to 65.
Are we doing a ladder bet here?
No, I would take that up to 65 if you can get it. If you can get it anywhere plus money, anywhere over 60, I would take that in a heartbeat, and do a full unit on that.
Wow. Okay, you heard it here, folks. He loves the 2.5. Categories. I can't hear anything in my headphones. The 2.5 for Detroit being away. It's almost kind of like a neutral site, doesn't it? Kind of feel that way a little bit, like a neutral site. You're playing it indoors in Detroit. They were like kind of our shelter. A little bit when we had all those problems getting snow removal last week. Does it kind of feel like a neutral site game, just knowing how well Bills Mafia travels?
It's a close enough game where I think it's going to be probably 50-50. I know Jake is going to be there, our analytics guy. Buffalo Blueprint on Saturday nights. Jake's going to be there, so I hope he's loud. It's his. He was saying last night it's his wife's first game, so definitely, hopefully,
cool.
she gets a win for that. So, but I definitely feel as though it's going. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be. I don't want to say high scoring, but when I say high score or not high scoring, I think it's going to be like 35-32, 38-35, something like that.
And we will. And as we do it, we're going to break into a new segment here. Did it last week. It's called Off the Rack. Matt, who is Off the Rack sponsored by? Fat Boy
Surf Club.
Fat Boy Surf Club. Use championship due for 20% off their apparel. If you want to grab something off the rack for them this holiday season, Off the Rack is sponsored by Fat Boy Surf Club. And you know what we saw? We saw Spencer Brown using a new neck roll. I believe that is sponsored by that is Douglas, who ends up doing that neck roll, and you can see it highlighted in that graphic. Hey, what do you notice in that, Matt, on that graphic? And I guarantee you, that's a sturdy neck roll. That's not one that he's just wearing under his collar.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I remember, we used to think it was like the coolest thing in the world when we were playing.
I wore one
in like as a freshman, throwing that neck roll pad in there to throw it in there to make you look bigger and everything.
Make like you actually did shrugs in the off season.
Exactly, and but this one, I don't know what they're actually for.
That's just kind of like a lot of breaks. If you face a lot of bull rush and stuff like that, that gives your neck just a little bit of reprieve. In a game where we don't want helmet-to-helmet hits anymore, that anchored in sturdy right into his impact pads. We noticed that he is using that, and he's trying to get the wear of the offensive, the season. We're in week 10. Maybe there's, a little bit of, some soreness. Maybe, his neck's taking a little bit of a beating. But I think that's the equipment room, getting ahead and using preventative equipment to kind of make sure he's playing as many meaningful snaps with this team as possible, because we're going to need him on the field at an unrelenting pace. Coming in on Sunday at 4:25.
Do you think that was more him going to the equipment room saying, "Hey, I'd like to wear this," or do you think that was more, this is going to be preventative to?
I think that's him working in tandem with the training staff, and you don't just add equipment and you don't add exercises, you don't add a little ice and stem. That's not a cool factor. While it does look cool, Matt.
Here's another question for you. Do you think that has to do with his back injury the last couple of years?
That could, because head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Thigh doctor will tell you the best. Everything's connected, and much like the equipment room, they're working complete tandem with the training room. So I would just look out for that. Maybe it's a little preventative more than we think. but that is what we did notice, and that is the Off the Rack segment sponsored by Fat Boy Surf Club. Once again, Fat Boy Surf Club. I always do that. Fat Boy Surf Club. If you want to grab something off their rack, use 20% code DO at checkout.
I will say though, we were joking around. We were joking around with it the other day with the way the lake was looking and saying, "Hey man, I wish we had some of those Fat Boy Surf Club stuff for to go out in the lake."
The surfers of Lake Erie. So, Maddie, how are you looking and how you seeing this offensive line? You're seeing a ton of Alec Anderson, which we do love. We always love seeing AA in there. He's our guy. Shout out to AA. You're seeing a little Ryan Vandermark. Sean McDermott talked a lot about that offensive line and their play and why, that play that we decided to execute on the 1 yard line, unfortunately, it didn't work. We had to burn a timeout. Why that play was our best play, and it's because of the way the offensive line played. Do you think there's kind of a renewed that, like, hey, that's our bread and butter? That's, the coaching staff and the game dictating, we need 1 yard. And when they didn't get it, do you think that kind of invigorates the nasty in some of the attitudes of the O-line?
I really do. I think that, we talked about it, on the post game. Josh Allen the last couple of weeks hasn't had a single sack given up or had a single sack. That has to do with a little bit of Josh being able to escape, seeing what the holes, being opened up by the offensive line, whether that's just, natural progression of, holes opening up on the offensive line, or whether that's, allowing guys to kind of over pursue.
I think you nailed it right there, little laddie. And hopefully I nailed this one. We're into it. Bars.
Yeah, let's
bars.
Hit it. Let's hit it.
Bars. No bars. Bars. This week's 7 Bars Knows Bars is sponsored to you by Beauty Pools. Get the tunes pumping this summer. Start thinking about your summer project now. Bar.
Come on, man. Only on the Champion Network.
Then you get 2 options basically. Neither are great.
Dugout, you're safely here.
2 options basically.
Dugout, you're safely here. Dugout, you're safely here.
2 options basically.
Maddie, hit me with that again one more time.
Come on, man. Only on the Champion Network.
Then you get 2 options basically. Neither are great.
Dugout, you're safely here.
2 options basically.
Dugout, you're safely here. Dugout, you're safely here.
2 options basically.
Maddie, real quick.
Yeah.
Bars or no bars? 1, 2, 3. Bars.
Absolutely bars.
1, 2, 3. Bars. So that's basically Sean McDermott just talking about how, the weather and getting in. Sean McDermott talked about it a little bit this week, Matt, about getting off that West Coast flight, then getting met by a snowstorm, trying to get the best work they can get in. I know it's labeled as a walkthrough this week, all right? It's labeled as a walkthrough, but I think at the same time, they're just trying to get the best work in possible. Whatever you just did in my mic is perfect. It's tough. It's tough with these schedules, especially when we're still trying to knock out some of our, NFC play, right? I'm just getting text now. You get the cross flight. You're in that pressurized tube. Not great for injury. And then you come back and you got a mound of snow. Sean McDermott talking about that and just trying to get in good, excellent work, for the team. Matt, how troubling is it that some of just the at-home elements, getting to the stadium, trying to get real field play work, is that you think that's going to catch up to us, or is this an extenuating conversation about, oh man, we really do need a dome?
No, I don't. Anybody who says the Bills need a dome is absolutely ridiculous. At this point right now, it's football weather. I'm not going to sit here and say there's home field advantage or anything like that. But we've dealt with it since the inception of the Buffalo Bills. Everybody knows the weather is going to be how it is here in Buffalo, and when it comes down to it, sure, if it gives us a home field advantage, great. If it doesn't, that's on the Bills because they're the ones practicing it every single day. I don't know. I think that they're the ones that need to be able to have it.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt: are you excited that we're going to play in almost like a weather-neutral site this week?
I mean,
haven't had one in a while.
Well, that's not true. I mean, we had a weather neutral site last week in Los Angeles. I mean,
Okay.
you
Okay,
can't
fine.
really say it's not the beginning of the season. It's not 100 degrees.
Why do I keep overlooking? I'm still doing it now. I'm still overlooking that LA Ram thing.
Because it was a loss, and you want to just get rid of it out of your mind.
Yeah, you might be right.
I mean, that's the football player in both of us. I literally put it behind me, but at this point right now, I mean, we still gotta talk about it. But at the same time, we're on to the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? We were doing that thing for the school for handicapped children, and we got to talk to AJ Epinesa for a little bit, and he was just like, man, it was just unrelenting and brutal, just how they kept, they couldn't catch their breath and stuff like that, and all that pre-snap motion. And we looked at AJ, Matt, and he's a fit lad. He's a super fit lad.
Yeah, super fit lad.
But you can tell that the weight of that loss was just disappointing. Even though in the grand scheme of things, hopefully it doesn't mean that much. You could tell the disappointment when we were talking to him. Anything you gathered from talking to him?
I mean, the only thing I will say is, the only time that he really had an issue was the
Snap motion.
No, it's not even the pre-snap motion. It was those jet sweeps. He wasn't keeping contained. We watched the game together. He wasn't keeping contained. He was going too far up the field. He was cutting. He was coming inside.
He wasn't playing
when
honest.
he needed to go up the field. But also on top of that too is it. In some of those situations, you got to kind of treat it like basketball a little bit, right? So what part of your body is not going? Do you have to watch in basketball that's not going to move?
Your pitch Cadell.
Above that, but yes, you're
the navel.
It's the waist. You watch the
navel.
waist, and wherever the waist goes is the player's gonna go. So if he tries to fake you with a shoulder fake, and you're watching the waist, he's not gonna go anywhere because you're gonna make the tackle. So that's really what it kind of comes down to for me is I think he put himself out of position by playing too far inside because he was trying to trust his instincts.
So we'll kick it for State Side of Education break. We'll be back on Do Champions.
All right, and welcome back in. We just wanted to spin the camera a little bit because we do have we're going to do some crowd work here real quickly, and we want to get some game score predictions.
What do we think?
So you got three. You got Mike three. Mike three. Mike three. Yeah, you can hear me.
Yep, but you can't hear me because you have no headphones in. So,
all right, yo, game prediction, game score. You got a camera right there. Say your name, where you're from, and game prediction.
Alex Buffalo, New York, Hamburg.
Hamburg Brewing. Good sponsor to the network, Johnny Russo.
Gotta stop. I'm on Ross St. Brown. Gotta stop David Montgomery. If you take a hold of the two running backs, get them get them down. We got to take care of those two, and I'm on Ross St. Brown. We're gonna take care of business. Josh Allen's a freak.
Final score prediction?
Bills 34, Lions 27.
Why don't you grab one of your homies? Tom, tell me, score prediction, where you're from. Where you're from and score prediction.
Josh Palisano from Hamburg, New York. Belong to Guana Country Club.
Wanaka Country Club. We're East Aurora guys, but okay.
Okay, that's a good.
It's good course, good track. So what do you think? What do you think is the key to victory for us here on Sunday?
Are we talking about the Bills?
Yes, talking about the Bills.
Defense has to show up the front four. I mean, you got to show up last week. Where was that Oliver? I mean, it all starts on the front line. That's about it. I mean, quarterbacks looked a little weak, but hopefully people step up this week. You know what I mean?
All right, final score prediction.
I am taking 38-21 Lions.
There you go. There you go. What's your name? Where you from? And let's get the key to victory and a final score prediction.
Tom, right from the hometown of Blaisdell.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Palace.
Right, represent right in Ilios. It's gonna be a tough game, but 27-24 Bills with a dub, baby.
I like it. Moving on. We got your name, final score prediction, what the Bills got to do to win.
Go Bills, 27-24, Steph Leanin. Thank you. All
right, and we'll wrap it up. Maddie, we got a raucous group here. We got a good crowd here. Nino, you got a score prediction? 34-31 Bills. Like it. Sounds about Ilio DePaulos here.
All right, and we have a couple more segments to go here, so we're just getting student body right back in here after he did his crowd work there. We're trying to do that a little bit more. Anytime we're down here, just I know it's a little loud in here, so we do apologize. Going. But yeah, let's get the people going, man. Definitely enjoy watching the games from here. It's a lot of fun.
So Matt,
yeah,
I ask you, buddy, what is the peak of which we have to assert to make sure this is a glorious win? This is a commanding lead. Some people are calling this the Super Bowl. Kind of like a prediction of the Super Bowl. That's what you get when you get two powerful AFC and NFC teams. What is the peak of which we have to ascend to? And what is the pit in your stomach that you fear might be looming in front of us when we take that trip up to a indoor?
First, and I say it every week. I keep going back to the well, but again, it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to be at the top of his game because, but we do have Keon Coleman coming back. We do have potentially Dalton Kincaid coming back. This might be a Micah Hyde game.
Stop it.
I'm being a little facetious about that because Cole Bishop's probably starting. But I mean, Micah Hyde helping out the rookie, seeing things on there that, it almost being like a player coach type situation is definitely going to help them on defense. But again, going back to the offense, Josh Allen just has to find, whether it's Ty Johnson, whether it's James Cook, whether it's Ray Davis, whether it's Keon Coleman, whether it's Dalton Kincaid.
I mean, he accounted for what, 424 yards, bro?
Yeah, I mean,
424. That's
342 yards through the air, I think it was. He had 6 total touchdowns. We need Josh to be Josh again, and he has been this year. I mean, we keep.
Is that going to be your peak? Josh's performance?
Yes, Josh's performance is my peak.
All right, my peak is going to be Shakir. Shakir's got to get back into the mix. We saw glimpses, but I want a full performance. I think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna get it. Matt.
That touchdown. Matt. Hold on, that touchdown that he had last week against the Rams, man, he saw that and just took off.
Greg, Josh had like 6 of them.
I know, but one of them was the pass to Khalil Shakir for, I think it was a 51-yard touchdown, and he found him, and Shakir saw the end zone, and he hit another level, and he went basically through 3 defenders and scored.
But I think there's a bigger level to this. I think we have not unlocked his best game, and I think he does not shy away from these high pressure games. That is why I think the peak of which we have to ascend to, is a complete game.
So let me ask you this then: what does it look like? What does his best game look like then?
His best game is multiple drives extended by the way he plays.
So he's done that multiple times this year, but
full game of it?
Yeah. What is for Khalil Shakir? Yes, absolutely. There's been a couple. The Ravens
Let's
game
talk.
when he got hurt.
Let's talk. I feel like Khalil Shakir is outplaying the Nomer, that he's the shocking, understated, cagey guy between the numbers and this yak yard after catch guy. I want him to just leave a game, leave a win, a tough win, one of the toughest we'll face. I want him to leave the game being the MVP. It can still be Josh, but I want him to be the undisputed MVP. I'm not getting mad at that everybody eats. I just want him to demand the ball more through his performance, and we're left with the takeaway where that we're not touching on how great the running back room played. We're not touching about how great Josh played. We're just saying, man, oh man, Khalil Shakir got that dub for us, and I think we have all the makings with how fast we want to play in a full trusting season. 15 games now of him being a contributing member. I want him to be the member, and I think this game has all the makings for him to be the big member, and I think that is going to be the key, the peak of which we have to assert to. Matt, what's the pit? What's a pit in your stomach that you have fear that we might get down to?
Let's keep the energy going here. So real quickly before I get to my pit, I want to thank Iliad Apollo's, our sponsors, Iliad Apollo's, Beauty Pools, Kayak Pools, W.GG, the official energy drink of Du Champions, Sons of Erie. Who else we got? Fubo TV,
WGG,
Hamburg Brewing, Fat Boy Surf Club,
Mackenzie Tree Farm, and Altered Grounds. Also,
and John Palmer Construction.
Maddie, what's that pit in your stomach that you think might happen?
Again, it comes down to that safety room, man. Especially with Taylor Rapp most likely not playing. Also with Rasul Douglas not playing. Yes, Ingram and Elam have to step up, but at the same time, these guys need to. They need to step up and they need to play. They need to prove that they can go out and continue to play well on that side.
Now, do you view this? So what's the pit? What do you think is going to go wrong? You got to answer the question, my man. What is the pit? And I know why you're not answering the question, because I got on that ass. I got on that ass on the post game. A lot of people messaged me, man, you're hammering Matt. Do you feel any different? And do you think there's? Let me ask you this: would you recall any of your statements post game? Because you admitted that a lot of that was emotion.
I do.
Okay, tell me what you recall.
A lot of it was emotion because the Bills lost. I take losses for the Bills like I did when I was playing. Not that I can do anything from my couch.
You're gonna get beat by your dad.
What's that?
I'm just kidding.
But no, I can't do anything from my couch, so it's like, what am I getting so angry about? But at the same time, it's things like, McDermott taking that time out. Why are we not calling 2 plays? Why are we not why are we not throwing the ball there? Why are we not having Josh run to the pylon? Why are we, there's so many different things that, it should have never come down to that. And that's what.
Are you trying to sit there and tell me that you're fearful that there might be a little hangover here of all the individual instances that were uncharacteristic of the loss of which we just suffered?
A little bit.
I'm glad I was able to work through that. The semantics of that
answer.
A little bit.
You're welcome. Like I said, the pit is a little bit of the hangover from that game, because we saw the hangover from with the Rams and playing in the game that they played last night. Maybe there's a little bit more because they had a 4 or 5 day turnaround, 4-day turnaround playing on a Thursday night, but and then they had the game at Sunday. But when it comes down to it, this team, I do think that other than the time management stuff with McDermott, I think that he has the guys ready to play every single week. That's the one thing that I will say.
I'd agree with that.
With McDermott is he's able to have these guys play every single week. He has these guys ready to play. So, what you see on the field is it almost feels like a talent gap a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes down to it, like DeMar Hamlin, you have him going against a DeMarcus Robinson. Like I said, I know that play it comes down to it where it's, it's offensive and defensive pass interference on both sides, but why is DeMar Hamlin taking DeMarcus Robinson on a fly route?
Yeah. That's fair. The peak of my stomach the pit in my stomach right now, once again, sponsored by Sons of Erie, sponsored by Iliad Apollos. The pit in my stomach right now is a unorganized week. It's reaching in the bag, and that Micah Hyde is a conversation to play. That is the pit in my stomach. It's a guy who, to be legitimately fair, Matt. Okay, to be legitimately fair, I had concerns about workload. That's actually why I sucked last week. Is the workload out of the perceived workload out of Matt Milano, right? To throw it into the conversation that a guy that hasn't played all year, while it is a feel-good story, I'm not sure it's going to feel good to throw yourself back in the mix and take those first NFL hits, those first taps on the shoulder that are going to be like, hey, you got to fill an alley to a running back room of Gibbs and Montgomery who don't fuck around. They're going to get upfield and get after that ass. One of the things that I will give myself a high five for is Josh talking about they just didn't have it sometimes, right? They just didn't have it at times last week. What was my big diatribe I went on last week was they had a lack of urgency to get after that fucking ass. And I'll say it again. After the game, before I, got into my preachy choir and I did kind of, try and remove the emotionless or the emotional, cloud over me, is that it was apparent, absolutely suffocatingly apparent and non-opaque that we did not get after that ass. We didn't get after that ass, and I don't want to even mention that could be the pit in my stomach, but I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking that is the pit in my stomach. What happens if that D-line, Matt, doesn't get after that fucking ass?
Yeah, I mean that's really one of the biggest problems is the defensive line. Is we talked about Ed Oliver had 9.5 sacks last year, like he has 1 this year. Like how are you not putting pressure?
How many does Vaughn Miller have?
He has 4.
It's not quite good enough.
No, it's not. And you got to have players like Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa. All these guys, they have to step up in a game like this. They got to play their position. They got to play, because one of the things that bothers,
they got to play with integrity.
One of the things that bothers me is the fact that we saw it in the Ravens game where they allowed Von Miller to just run up the field and then they would drop it in behind to Justice Hill. I feel like it's going to be the same type of game plan for Ben Johnson, for Jamar Gibbs. And Jamar Gibbs is a better running back, a faster player than Justice Hill. So if they get the ball into his hands as it goes behind Von Miller, nobody's going to catch that guy.
All right, question. Do you think a lot of plays, let me readjust this here, and I want your honest answer, so I want you to think about this, and I'm looking at you. Do you think some of his rush lanes and his athleticism, now that he's back and he's almost testing his own merit in his lower extremities, do you think his rush lanes are too wide? They almost like they set him out in like an exposing, by his own nature, an exposing angle where his typical in, he doesn't want hands on him because that's where he's most dynamic. You go wide, you can get that dip rush, right? That's been worked his whole career. Do you think at some point that's putting us in a bad situation, both in our linebackers having bigger, wider moving gaps to fill and to monitor at the sake of it's not materializing these sacks, and I just see that maybe he needs to condense, in my personal opinion, some of those free bull rushes, or maybe get a bull rush in, because they haven't been. There've been a lot of hands off rushes that open up that C gap. your thoughts. I just wanted to bring that up, man.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, and I want to touch on what Sean said here is, he said some of the casual hosts, don't think, don't have no idea how good Ragnow, Zeitler, and Sewell are. I think Sewell's one of the best tackles in the game. I think that some of these guys, their offensive line is one of the best in the game. Truly is one of the best in the game. That's why Jared Goff is doing as well as he is this year. That's why he's in the MVP conversation. In my opinion, one of the top 3 guys in the MVP conversation. But as far as it goes, from the Bills side, these guys got to win those battles. They got to win against Ragnow. They got to win against Zeitler. They got to win against Sewell. And they, if the game plan comes down to it, where they're going to allow Von Miller or Greg Rousseau or AJ Epinesa to run up the field, that's more on the tackles to say, okay, we're going to let you run up the field. We're going to drop it in behind you. We're going to drop it down in behind you. So,
it's and some of that C-gap stuff, especially when you're playing like a too high, or I get it. A lot of places you had like a lot of slide down. You had a lot of slide down stuff, especially out of that jet action. I mean, the Rams, 82% pre-snap motion. That's a lot, especially when you're playing a cover man under. That's terrible. FYI, Taylor Decker back this week. Good luck, dude. I know, man. If we are casual enough that we casually watch other games as well, and to not highlight Taylor Decker would be ignorant against the formidable opponent we're playing. Sean, if you think we're unaware of what we're about up to face. We're not confident hosts right now. We watch a lot of games, played a lot of football. I'm not going to get into the pedigree, but because my pedigree is nothing compared to a team that you watched all in all a year. If you could tell us something that we don't know, that'd be even more helpful because he's a stalwart, and that's why you haven't lost in September. And
their offensive line is one of the reasons why I chalk this up to a loss. And one of the reasons why I'm worried that, thank God we have the Patriots, Jets, Patriots in our final 3 games, because I think I almost said the Sabres, but the Bills come back, a little bit, and maybe are not going to sit in the 2nd seed if the Steelers go undefeated. I don't think that they will. I think the Steelers end up 12-5 and the Bills end up 13-4. But when it comes down to it, they have to go out and win a game like this. They have to go out and prove in a game like this that it's going to be.
That's a weird comment. The Bills are in dime formation 80% of the time. It'd be personnel, and we are categorically not. Our baseline difference is the nickel. That's why you see Taylor Rapp as the extended inside corner. He would be playing the Mike, just not in dime formation. We actually are in dime formation, 11% of the time?
Yeah.
I believe it's what we are. And also to compromise that is we get a lot of rock down safety work in the alley. So the Bills are in dime formation 80% of the time. Categorically or not. Base defense is nickel and has been for a couple of years. Once again, under Leslie Frazier, when Sean McDermott briefly took over the D, and now that Bobby Babich is in. So just to dispel some of that casual stuff, my position was linebacker, and we are taking one of those off the field simply because I just don't know.
So,
I don't know a match.
Real quick.
That Decker kid, there's a reason. He's one of the longest tenured offensive linemen. Yeah. He just signed an $85 million extension. So, once again, Sean, if you can tell us something we don't know, we'll let you keep going. But, yeah, continue.
I really wanted to kind of get into this part of it.
Absolutely.
This is the hypothetical comparison for the full 2024 season. We talked about it at the beginning of the year. Josh Allen having over 29 passing touchdowns. That's the bet this year was 29.5. He is going to have he's going to need to have another 5 passing touchdown game to win this game. I don't see this team, slow playing the Detroit Lions. Do you?
I don't think we're going to have any semblance of pace Until we get into Q2 or something like that. The openers, our openers have taken up the first 2 drives.
Yeah.
And it's been killing us.
And Sean brings up another good point. Truly, if Josh Allen isn't the MVP in this game, the Lions may win this game.
I'll give him a round of applause for that.
Yeah, that one.
Josh, it's Sean Michael. That is a great comment.
That's why.
Great comment, buddy.
We are sitting here saying that Josh has to be the peak. He has to be. Man, these old motherfuckers are so loud.
There's so many people here. So many people have asked to come on right here. We might be getting. We got Coach Fuller on right now. Coach Fuller. Let me intro this guy.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorite people on Twitter. He is on the beat. He should be on the beat. If he didn't want the main thing to be the main thing, he could keep this the main thing. He's on the beat with the Dolphins. He's always been pragmatic. He's I think I could say this. He has had a long football career, and we wanted to ask him, bring him on. Nothing but illustrious guests. Coach Fuller, welcome to the show, buddy. Man, that beard is looking.
Oh yeah.
That beard is epic.
Pretty fucking sweet, right?
Dude. So hey, as we sit here right now, flashes down in the bottom of our screen. ODB, Old Dirty Bastard, not OBJ. ODB lives on. OBJ does not with the Dolphins. Your gut knee hip reaction, where you keep the holster, the sidearm. What are you saying about him? Him no longer being part of the teal and orange?
Well, it really wasn't that he didn't fit, because he kind of did. But we have Malik Washington, who was really coming on.
Sure.
And then we have a guy who's been around for a while, River Quake. Sorry, guys. River Craig.
No, it's been a painful season. We got it.
Yeah. So we have Malik Washington, who's been doing really well for us, and OBJ really was getting the reps, and shout out to OBJ, because I talked to him a couple weeks ago when I was in Miami.
And, you also talked to Tyreek in the media. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So as you look at 420 top, you guys play at 1 p.m., I believe, on Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys play at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Is your screen immediately going from hopefully a Dolphins win, one you need, both for morale and where you're going, and hopefully, to secure. I think you're still a McDaniels guy. Is that true?
Oh yeah. McDaniels isn't going anywhere. He could lose the last 4 games of the year, and I still think he's the Miami's coach next year. Same with Chris Greer. He's not going anywhere either. You can't keep rolling guys over. That's the wrong thing to do. You can't keep rolling guys over and expect to come out on top.
Sure. Now, as hopefully you secure that win at 1 p.m., are you flipping immediately to that 4:25 p.m. game? And what do you think for a 15-1 you just said it, for a 15-1 Lions team at home? What do you think the Bills have to do? You were a quarterback yourself, a pretty talented quarterback, played a lot of years. Can we keep demanding all this of Josh Allen, or do we have to kind of elevate his game through giving more people opportunities and different looks? Because it seems like we've put so much on tape that people might be starting to figure us out. Your thoughts on that, Coach?
I love Josh Allen. I'm a Dolphins fan. A lot of guys don't like him. Josh Allen's the man. He's probably this year he's the best. He's the best guy in the league.
Wow.
No, he is. He is. You say wow, but Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league right now. They only beat one team this year with a winning record.
Yeah. And I want you to talk your shit a little bit, because that is a knock on a lot of things, that the Bills have only beat one, and the Dolphins the one. Like, how hard it is. You played organized football forever. It's hard to win, period, let alone, you see the Dolphins twice. You see the Jets twice. Anything interdivisional is hard to win.
So,
do you put much stock into that winning team ethos?
No. Listen, when people say Josh Allen only beat one winning team this year, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. This is the NFL, and it's any given Sunday. All these guys they're all out to win the game. And when they're eliminated, they're still going to try to win the game. The Bills right now to me, is the best team in the league.
Wow. Well, we did beat the perceived other best team in the league in the AFC, and that was the one big win. But I find myself that past performance is not indicative for future results. Like, basically, for a team to say, or for any fan to be like, oh, they have to gear up for this game. You and I both played. That's not how this works. They're professionals.
No, that's not how this works.
So, Matty had a question for you. I'm going to throw it to him.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, real quick, Coach Fuller. What do you have for a score prediction of this game?
Score of the game, 30. The Lions.
31-30 for the Lions. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I believe that propels the Bills.
Wow. Coach Fuller. Hey, always a pleasure, man. I hope you're doing well. If you guys haven't called me Coach Jim Fuller, he's the man. He's someone I entrust for a lot of things. And for such an intense rivalry, I think the fandom of Third Manageable, two champions, Coach Fuller, the intense rivalry only elevates, hopefully, the knowledge of which you can acquire and listen to us. Coach Fuller.
It's always a lot of fun talking to you.
Coach Fuller,
man,
have a great night, man.
Having fun over there, bro.
Yeah, dude, you gotta get to Ilios, man. You gotta get to Ilios. So once again, that is Coach Fuller. You can catch him at Coach Fuller on X. Thank you so much, man. We do appreciate you, man. Thank you. I enjoy that guy immensely.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Dude, he's played. You know, he played a little longer than I did. I was just a cup of coffee. He stayed for a frappuccino, but like he's great and stuff like that. So, Matty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we want.
Coach Fuller just hit me up. If you can hit my camera right now. Bills Lions Super Bowl. Bills Lions Super Bowl. You heard it first here.
I could see it. I honestly could see it. I mean, it's definitely that's the matchup I expect to see in the Super Bowl. I expect it to be. I expect the 1 seed, 2 seed to be Bills Chiefs. Whether it's Bills at home, whether it's Chiefs at home, but I do expect it to be Bills Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Well, the only thing with that comment is Josh Allen can't be the best QB in the league until he beats Mahomes. This might be a spoiler fact. They actually play on both sides of the ball, and they're not actually playing each other. And there are 3 other phases of the game. There's 10 other people on the field at any other given thing. And if you want to do real math, it's actually 21 other people on the field. Quarterback wins or not, Matt.
If we want to go down to that.
Wins or not.
Right, they're not a quarterback stat.
Wins or not.
A quarterback stat.
They're not at all, man.
But, I mean, if we want to go down to it, Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes this year already.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about Josh Allen, if you want to talk about Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, I think you need to be talking about golf. They're not on the field the same
time. Match, and Josh is 0 for 1 against him. So, yeah, but
he categorically does. He owns Mahomes
in the playoffs. Let's be serious about this. In the playoffs.
Nope.
They are 4-1.
Sean's right.
They are 4-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season. Mahomes does own him in the playoffs. Let's be serious. If we're gonna say Mahomes is owning the Bills, it's in the playoffs. Absolutely would agree with that. But the Bills and Josh Allen are 4-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, golf. I got it is 2-0 versus Mahomes. Golf got traded. We're not in a landscape where you're going to see Josh Allen. We're going to see Josh Allen or Mahomes.
1-0 against golf.
Yeah, you're not going to see Josh Allen get traded anytime soon. You're not going to see Mahomes get anytime traded soon. Yes, 2-0. I got it. But they're integral source parts to our success to the point where the Rams didn't think they were, so they shipped them.
And let's be serious.
That just tells me it's the way good teams play football are the sum of the parts.
And honestly, I mean, we both have.
I like the Sean guy.
We both have this chalked up as a lock. If the Bills come out and win, I'm surprised. I'm absolutely pleasantly surprised. I'm happy about it, and the Bills would be 11-3 and everything like that. But that's perfectly fine. I think after this week, Josh Allen is 1-1 against Jared Goff. 1-1 against the Lions, and we're not talking about the 100 times they've played in the preseason. We're literally talking about regular season. We won't see them again until the Super Bowl, if it is a Super Bowl matchup.
All right, Matt. Who are you talking to, baby?
I am talking to the offensive line.
Okay, talk to me, baby. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
tell me to talk to you, and then you turned on my mic. Thanks. But no, in all seriousness, I'm talking to offensive line. I'm talking to Alec Anderson. I'm talking to Spencer Brown. I'm talking to Deion Dawkins. You guys are going to have to step up, and you're going to have to keep the pocket clean for Josh Allen, and you're going to have to keep the run lanes clean, because I truly do think that Josh Allen's going to have to. I think he's going to have to use his legs again in this game, and whether that's QB sneaks, whether that's him improvising and scrambling, he's going to have to use his legs, and he's going to have to be Superman in this game.
There it is. He's talking to him. I am talking to AJ Epinesa after just seeing him on Tuesday. Lad, shake this one off. Play hard. Use your frame. Use your athleticism, and surprise some people. Get on the stat sheet for everything you've been to this franchise, and the reason we took you so highly touted out of Iowa. So I'm talking to AJ Epinesa. Stay clean. Stay safe. Matt, you got a score prediction?
I have this game 35-32 Lions.
Okay. Going 27-24 Lions. And last comment we hear, Allen would have 4 losses, Goff would have 1. And, man, I'm going to tell him, if my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bike.
Sean, thank you so much for all your comments.
Sean, we do appreciate it,
We
man.
want to thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Definitely appreciate
on Third
you.
and Manageable. Definitely join us next week. Join us all week. We have one more show coming this week before the Bills game.
We got Super Agent Matt Gloss on next Friday, who will be coming in, represents a lot of your favorite players. So, hey, Matt.
Good to be seen. Hey, good to be seen.